What if I told you your mind operates on a frequency only 1% of the population can grasp? Imagine for a moment that within you lies a hidden universe, a dimension of consciousness few dare to explore or even realize exists. You feel different, don't you? As if you're navigating an invisible current, far from most common voices and thoughts. Feeling this way can be lonely, but know that this difference is, in fact, a powerful key, an invitation to discover something profound about who you really are. If you've ever felt this restlessness, this sense of being a stranger in a world that doesn't seem to understand you, know that you're not alone. Together, we'll dive into this fascinating inner universe that Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychoanalysts of all time, rescued from the shadows to illuminate our journey of self-knowledge. Before we go on, go ahead and hit that like button, share a comment telling us if you've also felt this inner loneliness, and don't forget to subscribe to be part of this community that understands and values this rare perception. Have you ever felt that, despite all your efforts, there's something about you that just doesn't fit into conversations, social norms, or even your own family history? Maybe you have a sense that the people around you live on a different frequency, a different song, a rhythm you try to keep up with, but which never truly resonates with your own heart. Perhaps this is your reality, a persistent feeling of not belonging, the impression that your mind is a secret place where few people can enter, and with that, a mix of frustration and isolation. This experience, so common among people with deep patterns of reflection and intuition, especially those identified with INFJ and INTJ profiles, is, at its core, a manifestation of what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. It's as if your soul is on a less traveled path, a hidden trail that connects not only your individuality, but also a vast psychological heritage that belongs to all of us, a symbolic and archetypal inheritance that shapes our dreams, our fears, and our aspirations. It's not just about feeling different because you're shy or introverted. It's something much deeper, an existential restlessness that resonates with that ancient human yearning for meaning, for the recognition that we are more than what we appear to be. Perhaps you feel, even if vaguely, that there's an inner calling, that persistent whisper telling you your journey is unique, that hidden within this complexity is a mission of self-discovery and transformation. Carl Jung offers us a map for this journey using concepts that go beyond the simplistic notion of mere consciousness. He reveals that within each of us exists a shadow, those parts of ourselves we hide or reject, powerful archetypes that guide our behaviors and manifest in dreams, myths, and universal symbols. Have you ever imagined you could be a lonely hero, a figure who walks against the current in search of something greater? This narrative isn't just fantasy. It's a mirror of your psyche seeking its own meaning. But why does this matter to you? And furthermore, how can understanding these signals your mind sends you change everything you believe about yourself? You're about to discover 8 signs that indicate your mind operates on this rare frequency. None of them are random. Each is a piece of the puzzle that reconnects you to your deepest essence. The 8th sign, I can tell you now, will completely change your view of your mind and why you, literally, think in a way few can keep up with. Before we continue, I want to ask you directly, are you ready to explore this hidden reality in your unconscious? To see your life in a new light? If the answer is yes, don't forget to confirm it with a comment below. Your participation is essential to strengthen this network of seeking souls. Now, let's begin. The first sign reveals itself in a constant feeling of displacement. Do you perceive your surroundings as if on a stage where others play roles that seem disconnected from the life you feel pulsing within you? This feeling isn't just social. It's a discrepancy between inner and outer worlds. It's like you're an HD radio station in a city only occupied by AM devices. Your thoughts are complex, with nuances, speed, and depth that most people can't keep up with, and this can lead to profound loneliness, because none of them express or translate your true world. Have you ever felt insufficiently understood, even by those closest to you? That your ideas, feelings, and concerns flow in another dimension? This is the exclusivity of a mind that operates at a high level of abstraction, where connection is often sacrificed to the complexity of lucidity itself. This isn't weakness or a defect. It's a clear sign that you have a rare ability to perceive multiple realities at once. The second sign is directly related to your worldview. People with this mental frequency tend to question everything. They don't accept easy answers or ready-made truths. Have you ever had that uncomfortable feeling of being a child trying to put together a puzzle without the box image? For you, the world is always under construction, and doubt is a tool, not a barrier. This incessant search often creates a feeling of isolation because linear thinking seems shallow compared to the infinite layers you perceive. This critical gaze, which sometimes even borders on skepticism, is actually a bridge to Jung's collective unconscious, a vast ocean where the deepest answers reside, but which few have the courage to explore. This courage is a trait reserved for a few, a select group that sees in questioning the possibility of expansion, of individuation, the central process of Jungian psychology, which leads us to become what we truly are, beyond social masks. Speaking of masks, the third sign you should understand is your relationship with the persona, that social mask we all wear to exist in society. For many, this mask is comfortable, an effortless adaptation. For you, the persona feels heavy. It's like wearing an outfit that doesn't match your essence. In your mind, conflict often arises between what you show and what you feel internally, a chasm between your public self and your real self. Carl Jung taught that psychological maturation happens when this persona is integrated, not denied. But the path to this integration can be painful when the disconnection between your inner and outer self is too great. This difficulty in fitting in socially is part of your individuation process, like a call to recognize who you are beyond external expectations. You feel this intensely, and that's why you often perceive yourself as someone living on the margins of the crowd, observing, reflecting, but not being fully seen. And the fourth sign, perhaps the most surprising, is the way you deal with your shadow. Those hidden, repressed parts, often considered negative or unacceptable. Instead of fleeing from these inner facets, you already realize they have a profound meaning, a hidden purpose. Suffering, doubt, negative emotions are not just burdens, they are keys to self-knowledge. You know that the true confrontation doesn't happen in the external world, but in this internal battle against your own limitations, fears, and secrets. The shadow is where Jungian archetypes gain strength, the wounded hero, the wise old man, the trickster, and understanding this dynamic changes how you see yourself. This understanding offers real power, the power to transform your flaws into strengths that propel your spiritual and personal journey. In these first 4 revelations, you can already feel how each one touches a part of your being with almost surgical precision. You're beginning to recognize yourself in this complex, dramatic, and beautiful mirror that only those who swim on this high frequency can see. But this is just the surface of an even deeper journey that we will explore together. Remember, this quest isn't for everyone. It requires courage to look within, to confront loneliness, to accept the challenge of individuation. But it also guarantees something unique, the promise of truly finding yourself, of living a life that makes sense to you, not for others. If you felt this resonance so far, like the video, comment on your experience, and subscribe to continue this discovery together. In the next segment, we'll reveal the signs that uncover the hidden gifts of this unusual mind and explain why what you call peculiarity is actually a gift in disguise. Don't go away, because the best is yet to come. Your transformation begins now. Sign 5, you are guided by an intuition that defies common logic. If you've ever made decisions that seemed irrational, impossible to justify with concrete data, but deep down, you knew it was the right path, then you know what this is. It's more than just having a hunch. It's like you hear something unsaid, see patterns no one else noticed, or feel the energy of an environment without anything visibly happening. This is the manifestation of the introverted intuition function, described by Carl Jung as a deep form of symbolic perception. People who operate through this mental pathway don't build conclusions through sequential reason, but rather through images, sensations, and a kind of premonition of internal structure. And here's a secret. In modern society, this ability is often discredited because it doesn't fit into formulas, statistics, or rational arguments. But for those who feel it, it's a beacon in the fog. You may have grown up hearing that you were distracted, confused, or even disconnected from reality. But go deeper. This disconnection was, in fact, a reconnection with deep levels of the unconscious, where ancient wisdom flows. Jung would say you're dialoguing with the archetypes. Intuition at this level isn't superstition. It's the language of the soul. And here's a crucial point. This highly intuitive mind needs space. Moments of solitude, silence, and contemplation are not luxuries or escapes. They are fuel. If you feel guilty for wanting to isolate yourself, for wanting to be silent, remember, it's in these spaces that your mind reorganizes itself, connects the invisible threads, and translates visions into understanding. Sign 6. You have a curious attraction to the invisible, mysterious, and hidden. Think about it for a second. From a very young age, you were curious about topics others considered strange, too serious, or even dangerous. While your peers wanted to play, perhaps you were wondering about death, dreams, the universe. Have you ever been interested in spirituality, philosophy, symbolism, mythology, or depth psychology even before you understood what these fields were about? This is a strong indicator. People with this type of mind are automatically drawn to what lies beneath the surface. This is the territory of the soul. And there's a reason behind it. It's as if you were born with an internal contract to find the truth, even if it costs your safety. Jung said that, what we do not face in ourselves, we will meet as fate. And you feel that, don't you? That running away from inner truths generates anguish, illness, ruptures, as if the external world pushes you back to what you're trying to avoid within. Your interests in hidden topics are, in fact, a reflection of the impulse of individuation. But be careful here. This curiosity can become dangerous if mismanaged, because the unconscious is a vast, symbolic, and profound place, with layers that require emotional preparation to be integrated into consciousness. Therefore, if you feel attracted to everything mysterious, don't repress it, but also don't surrender blindly. Learn to navigate symbolically. Study. Absorb, reflect. For people like you, this symbolic is more real than matter. Sign 7. You perceive flaws that society condemns as hidden gifts. Perhaps you've been criticized for being too sensitive, for thinking too much, for not being practical, for seeming emotionally distant or excessively idealistic. Maybe you've wondered if there's something wrong with you. But pay close attention. What is seen as a mismatch can be exactly what makes you rare. There's a silent power in recognizing that not being like others isn't a flaw, it's a mission. Behavioral science reveals that our self-esteem is shaped by the external validations we receive in childhood. If you were labeled strange, difficult, or antisocial, those words created wounds. But when you understand that these characteristics emerge from a much more complex mind, you begin to rewrite your own story. Carl Jung said that what we most reject in ourselves contains our greatest power. Many who faced constant criticism during their youth grew up believing there was something deeply broken in their mind. But what if the opposite were true? What if your mind was tuned to patterns others haven't yet reached? What if your sensitivity was the result of a greater, energetic perception? What if your insecurity was, in fact, a high self-observation mechanism and not an emotional weakness? What if your apparent coldness was just a defense system built by someone who feels too much and constantly needs to filter every emotional stimulus around them? Notice how the same characteristics that cause pain are also the seeds of expanded consciousness. People like you didn't come to please. They came to destabilize old structures. The discomfort you generate in superficial environments is a reflection of your depth. If your mind seems difficult to others, perhaps it's because it's accessing codes they haven't yet learned to decipher. These flaws are threads of gold hidden beneath the dust of rejection, and you're here to brush them until they shine. What does all this mean? By now, you might be starting to see yourself in a completely new way. Is it all making sense? Your intuition, your need for introspection, your fascination with the invisible, and even your deepest pains. All of it now seems to form a pattern, a route. You're not lost. You're on the right track. It's just that the road you've chosen is for few. As Jung said, who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. And you, perhaps without knowing it, have been awakening. Subscribe to the channel and like this video to access more stories like this. But what if I told you the biggest turning point is yet to come? That we're about to enter the most powerful moment of this journey. In the next segment, we'll delve into the final two signs. One reveals the sacred pain of isolation that precedes all inner illumination, and the other, perhaps the most important of all, is the call your soul has been silently waiting to hear since the beginning of your existence, the journey of individuation. Like this video now if you haven't already, and most importantly, comment below. I need to know if all this is resonating with you. Your response is the invisible compass that helps me continue to nurture this content. And share this video with someone else who also needs to remember that being different is a symptom of waking up.